If you run a healthcare staffing agency, home care agency, or really any service business, recruitment is your lifeline. Today, I'm sharing the top recruitment tools that I personally use to run my eight-figure healthcare companies. Even if you're outside healthcare, whether you own a security firm, a cleaning service, or a logistics company, the strategies and tools that we'll cover will help you build a stronger recruitment funnel, frame your hiring approach, and scale your team more effectively. If you're serious about taking recruitment to the next level, this is the video for you. One of the biggest challenges in recruitment, whether you're hiring administrative staff or the team you'll monetize, is that hiring good people is incredibly time consuming. Finding quality candidates, screening them, and moving them through the hiring process takes real effort. And if you're an early stage entrepreneur juggling everything, recruitment often gets pushed a little bit to the side. That's why having a strong application tracking system and the right organizational tools are critical. You need a setup that keeps you efficient, filters candidates clearly, and saves you hours and hours of manual work. In today's environment, your infrastructure is everything. A good system doesn't just collect resumes, it manages the flow, keeps you focused, and it makes sure that you're spending your time on the best possible candidates. In the next slide, we'll get into exactly what these tools are and what I'm currently using. Once you've committed to building a strong recruitment strategy, you have to start with your infrastructure. You'll need tools that actually track your recruitment activities and manage the flow of applicants. In our company, we built our own system called OnTime. It handles everything: application tracking, patient management, employee record management, scheduling, billing, payroll, you name it. My personal philosophy is that the fewer third-party tools, the better. One system makes everything more cohesive and easier to manage. Now, I understand not everyone can develop their own software. That's why OnTime is available to license if you want an all-in-one solution to streamline your operations. Once you have the foundation in place, visibility becomes your next priority. You need to be seen. Start with job boards like Indeed, which are shirts-based, and candidates are actively looking for opportunities. You could also leverage Google Ads, targeting keywords like travel nursing jobs in New York, right? To be more specific, overnight security jobs. Depending on your industry, is what's going to help you drive and pick the keywords that you use. Just make sure that it's something that people would search. When people search, you want your job listing to match their intentions. Next, don't overlook your internal resources and your internal network. Set up a strong referral program and encourage your current team to refer their friends, former coworkers, or even family members that they trust. Referrals often come pre-vetted. People are unlikely to recommend reliable candidates because it reflects back on them. Finally, integrate automation into your recruitment funnel. In my company, we use ActiveCampaign to automate follow-ups. Once someone applies, their email automatically gets added to a sequence that nurtures them through the next steps of the hiring process without draining your time or your team's time. Now, to put this all together, set up your tracking system first. Make sure that you get visibility with job boards, ads, and your social media posts. You're going to want to make sure that you leverage your referrals. And lastly, use an automation tool to keep applicants engaged from the very start. Now let's dive deeper into visibility because it's one of the most important parts of your recruitment strategy. Everything starts with being seen and being heard. Job boards like Indeed are a great place to start because they work on a pay-per-click model. You could target specific keywords, professional groups, and industries, and you only pay when someone shows interest, depending if you pick that model. Yes, there are costs, but it's targeted visibility that brings you closer to the right candidate. LinkedIn is another strong tool, especially for more advanced professionals. And don't overlook other traditional options like newspapers and everything else. Over the years, I've succeeded with things like Craigslist, ads in the paper prints, and even newspaper ads back in the day. The point is simple. You must consistently get in front of the people you want to hire. That said, be careful with your targeting. If you're too broad or too vague, you'll burn through your budget without attracting the right sort of applicant. Now, moving a little bit into social media. With paid ads on platforms like Facebook or Instagram, you could create hyper-specific audiences. For example, nurses located in Boston, Spanish-speaking aides in Miami, or licensed RNs seeking travel jobs. While social media users might not be actively looking for work like they are on Indeed, you're still putting your brand and job opportunities in front of the right people. Another powerful tool with social media is to create and manage your own job groups. Build a Facebook group focused on top paying travel nursing jobs or best security jobs in New York. Share quality job postings, even from other companies, to build trust and engagement. Over time, your group becomes a go to resource when you post your own openings. You'll already have an audience ready to respond. This is actually how Indeed grew their platform. They scraped jobs, aggregated them, and then pointed everybody to their job board. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of word of mouth. Your current and former employees are a recruitment goldmine. Offer referral bonuses and encourage your team to bring in qualified candidates that they trust. Think of it like being a setup on a date, right? When someone recommends a friend, they're vouching for their reliability and fit. Would you hook up a friend with a known cheater or a known problematic person? Probably not. To truly master recruitment, you have to be intentional and strategic. And that starts with understanding your recruitment funnel. One of the biggest mistakes that I see when I'm consulting for companies is that they don't have a system in place. They're shooting straight up into the dark, hoping to find the right people without a clear process. I want to give you a real framework that you could follow, something that ties effort, money, and outcomes together so that you can plan intelligently. Think about your recruitment funnel like this. At the very top, you have everyone who sees you. That's your visibility layer. Okay. Next stage down is the people who become interested. These are your applicants, or better known as leads. From there, through screening, interviews, and filtering, you identify your potential candidates. Once screened, candidates move through your onboarding process. This is like collecting their paperwork, their physicals, verifying their credentials, their licenses, and getting everything in order. After you've onboarded the candidates, they need to attend orientation. This is learning about your company's mission, culture, basic rules, the employee manual, etc. Finally, you have a successful hire, people who are now fully set up, ready to be placed with assignments or to start their job. In the staffing business, not everyone you hire immediately works, right? This is just the reality of it. But in our model, we consider someone hired once they complete orientation and are all set up and ready to start working. They're officially on our roster at this point. And once they're placed is when they're actively working and earning us money. To drive this point home, let's talk about the numbers. Say that you invested $5,000 in recruiting between ads, job boards, your recruiters, and job fairs. That spend got you in front of 10,000 people. Out of that, 1,000 people apply. 300 become potential candidates after completing their initial screening. 150 people go through the onboarding process and submit their paperwork. Out of that group, 75 show up for orientation. 25 of them complete all onboarding steps and are considered hired. And finally, 10 are placed and start working, earning you money. If you do the math, it costs you about $500 per placement, and that you've achieved a 1% conversion rate from initial applicants to workers actually placed. Now, I know what you might be thinking. $500 to hire somebody might sound like a big number, but if you consider that your average employee is going to generate you between $5, $10, or even $20,000 in revenue during their tenure, a $500 acquisition cost is actually a huge success. As a general rule, you want to at least have a 3-time return on investment on your recruitment expenses. So spending $500, you should expect to earn at least $1,500 in the net kind of proceeds from that hire. Again, this is talking about things from the lens of you're sending somebody to work and earning money on that spread. Tracking these numbers, setting expectations, and measuring KPIs is how you stop guessing and start recruiting like a professional. Remember, what doesn't get measured doesn't improve. That's why it's critical to track your recruitment funnel and understand the cost at each stage. When you know your numbers, you could keep expenses under control and double down on what's working. For example, if your average cost per lead is $5 and you notice that Facebook is bringing in leads at $3 while Google is costing you $20 per lead, you could shift your budget accordingly. Obviously, you're going to spend more money on Facebook. But it's not just about cost. It's about results, right? So even if Google leads cost more, if they're converting better and producing more hires, that's where your investment might belong. Over time, with a large enough spend, your sample size will help you identify where your most affordable and highest converting leads come from. And by applying this approach, you'll always know how much you're spending compared to what you're gaining, making your recruitment process truly scalable. If you found this breakdown helpful, I recommend checking out On Time ITS. It's an all-in-one tool that we've created to run our recruitment and operations efficiently. And if you want to work directly with me and my team to dial in your recruitment funnel, optimize your hiring process, and stop shooting in the dark, visit passiveworkforce.com or join one of our group mentoring sessions. We're here to support you every step of the way. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the very next video.